Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. Um, I'm working in my pepper bed this afternoon here, trying to get it cleared out so I get some other jobs done as I prepare for fall. And I thought it might be interesting to take a look at how those um, fabric bags that I had planted my peppers in, how they fared over the summer. If you recall, I planted the pepper seeds in the fabric bags and they're supposed to break down. That was how they were advertised, is they would decompose in the soil and the roots would be able to get through, and it was just supposed to be a really convenient way of planting without needing a lot of extra plastic pots. So I wasn't completely sold on this, but I thought I'd give them a go and see how it turned out. Um, if you remember when I planted them, because I was a little skeptical of how it would work, especially in our climate here. Um, I did slice some of the bags before putting them in, and I had marked which plants were which as I sliced them, so I knew which one had the slice and which didn't, just to make sure that the roots would get out of the bag if they became constricted without the slice. So um, I thought I'd let you have a look at these here and just see how well they worked as advertised, and whether the slits made a difference or not. So I have two plants here that are jalapeno that I had dug out of the ground. They were growing side by side, and one bag has the split in it and one doesn't. And I'll bring them in a little closer here, and you can have a look and see how they worked out. These are the two plants here. The one on my right, left here is the one that had the slit in the bag, and this one does not. And when you first look at it, it looks like, wow, a lot more roots on the one with the slit, and definitely less on the one without the split. I have to say, I didn't see a difference in production in any of the plants, and these were side by side, getting the same water, fertilizer, sun, everything. So I'm going to put down the one without the splits for a minute. We'll look at the one with the splits. So when you look at it here, where's the? So this is where I cut it, and you can see that's not really where most of the roots are coming out. So I don't think that really contributed to more root development. And there's a split on this side, and same thing. There's some roots coming out of this side, it looks like, but not a whole lot. So in fact, most of the roots that are coming out seem almost like they're, oh no, they are through the bag. I thought maybe they were just above the bag, but well, some of them are above because I did plant them deeper. So some are above the top of the bag, and some are right at the top edge there. So I don't know how well you can see that. But as you can see, I can tell where the top edge of the bag is very well because they did not break down. I mean, it's completely intact everywhere. Even where I put the split, there's not any signs of it breaking down along that edge. You know, there's the seams and everything. Still see the stitch marks. These did not break down at all. I'll show you the other one. There it is. Like not, I mean, the roots grew very well. They definitely don't impede the root growth, I don't think. My plants grew about the same size and the same production rate as every year, maybe even more production. Um, whether that was the bags or the weather, I don't know, but like there's not a single bit of breaking down on these bags. Now we'll see if I find them. I'm digging them up for years to come. You know, maybe over the winter they'll break down better, but right now this is definitely not as advertised as far as breaking down, but it certainly didn't impede the growth of the plants. So I still have like hundreds of these left, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. So I'll pull a couple out on this side of the bed here just to see if there's any difference. But so trying to look for two that have the split in them that are the same variety. So these two were both the sweet lipstick pepper. Um, it appears like there's a huge difference in how they grew. But if you recall, I plant my peppers in pairs. And this one, the one plant, I have already cut back quite a bit. It probably was damaged from the frost. Um, but that's interesting. They do look different. This one, both plants look like they were growing a little bit stronger. One's definitely less than the other. These ones don't look like they were as strong. So we'll pull these out. Let's loosen the soil up a bit. So this one here is the one that had the split, 'cause I marked them with these wooden um, stakes or whatever here. So this is the one with the split, the pepper on it. Actually, two. Um, bags are definitely still intact. Interesting, the roots are coming out mostly out of the top. This one, I'm trying to see where the split is. There's a split there, so there should be one here. Yeah, again, the roots don't really seem to be coming out of the split. So this is the one that did not have the splits in it. This is the one that did. I don't know. The one without the splits this time seems like it has more root development, but they're a little bit smaller plants. It's interesting though, like most of the roots were at the top, and I had folded down the tops a little bit. So that's interesting. There's some root growth down here, but the bulk of it seems to be at the top. Now some looks like it got ripped out maybe when I pulled it out, but not a lot. So that's the side. Here's the one that had the cut in the fabric. And again, there's not like a lot of roots were coming out of that cut. See that? And here's the other side where I would cut it. Again, not really like roots pouring out those cuts. So they weren't like trying to find somewhere to escape. They were coming through the fabric where they wanted to. Again, most of the roots are at the top. And I don't know if you can see the soil line very well, but like they would have been buried to about here because I do plant them a bit deeper. So you can see that doesn't give them like a lot of extra root growth. It just stabilizes them and it doesn't seem to hurt the stems at all. Very windy here. So what do I think of these woven fabric pots here? Not much. I have a large collection of plastic pots that I reuse year after year. They work well for me. I find them easy to fill, easy to maintain moisture levels, and easy to move around. And I don't think it damaged the roots at all to take the plants out of the pots and get them in the ground. Not for these, that's for sure. These bags I found difficult to fill. Now, as I did more of them, I got better at it, less of an issue. Guess there's a learning curve there. Um, but they dried out quite quickly. Uh, they would develop a bit of mildew around the top of some of these bags. And, you know, if you didn't have them just kind of crammed into a container, you know, that you were watering them in, like they didn't stand up well on their own, especially once they developed top growth of any amount. So they're a little bit more difficult to handle in those beginning stages while you're getting the plants going. and I really don't think they helped the plants to develop more out in the ground, and they certainly didn't break down. And I hate finding stuff like this in my garden beds for years to come. So hopefully they break down over the next season. But they were cheap, uh, and I have hundreds of them, I think, still, because that's how they came. But I certainly wouldn't buy them again, and I wouldn't recommend them for a purchase. Maybe in a hotter climate or a climate with more moisture, maybe they would break down better. But in my northern prairie garden, these are a no-go. I might use them for the next few years on things that don't like to be handled a lot with transplanting, like melons, just to use them up, but they're not something I'll purchase again. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.